Aloha Friday. Welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I got a bunch of DC updates for you today, including theatrical and streaming model. What will Wonder Woman 1984 do? Also, Michael B. Jordan is producing a new DC movie. Exciting stuff. Then someone found something on the set of the Batman that could really make that universe explode. And finally, there has been a new concept art discovered just recently, like this year, for Zack Snyder's Justice League. I wonder what that's all about. But before all that, I have to thank the members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you to all the members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. You guys and girls are the lifeline of the Ping Pong Flix Show. I truly appreciate for every single one of you that has joined in. And like I said, once we reach 100 members, we will have a random prize drawing for awesome DC merchandise. But that's not all. I also have to thank all you subscribers and to the new subscribers that subscribed in. Just like the members, we ourselves will have a random prize drawing once we reach 15,000 subscribers. So what are you waiting for? Join as a member today or subscribe. Now on with the show. The first topic of the day is theatrical or streaming model. What will Wonder Woman 1984 do? There are a few articles that I want to talk about. The first one is about Warner Brothers and Universal bosses say no movie theater buyouts in the works, but we're rooting for them. Basically, Deadline talked to Universal's Donna Langley and Warner Brothers and Sarnoff on whether they will help the theatrical situation by actually buying them out. They laughed, of course, but they did say that they are really rooting for them. They haven't gone away from the whole theatrical model. They believe they will still be doing the theatrical model, but for certain types of movies. I think even Ann Sarnoff had explicitly said action movies, superhero movies, horror movies, pretty much your big blockbusters, things that people would normally go to the movie theaters for. Even though the domestic box office plummets about almost over 80% so far, or almost there, there's still no real solution to this whole theater fiasco. There's no movies going in, at least not that many, not enough to keep these theaters alive. As theaters keep on closing, there is nothing much more these studios can do for them other than wait and see. So honestly, that's probably why a lot of these other studios, including Disney, decided to go the streaming route, at least put a lot more investment into the streaming route and doing things like putting Soul out on streaming, putting Mulan out on streaming, especially in domestic. And, Warner Brothers and Universal did the same thing. Universal did the Trolls World Tour over on streaming, and Warner Brothers did the Scooby-Doo thing. See, that's the thing. Once you start it, at this point, there's no stopping it. To the point that other box office analysts is also encouraging studios as well, including this one coming from comicbooknow.com. Disney investor urges company to move Marvel's Black Widow to streaming on Disney+. Yes, a top Disney investor is telling Disney to move potential blockbuster movies, delayed movies, to bypass movie theaters for a streaming premiere on Disney+. How crazy is that? Loeb also predicts theaters shuttered by the COVID-19 pandemic will survive, but foresees them becoming more of a novelty experience, saying the world is going to go largely toward online distribution. But what does this have to do with Wonder Woman 1984? Well, Variety had put out this article, will Wonder Woman 1984 open on Christmas? I don't think anybody can be confident, says Patty Jenkins. Whether Diana Prince will indeed grace multiplexes in the US and Canada in 2020 at all remains very much an open question. Cases in the US are surging once again. Flu season is beginning to kick into gear, and some exhibitors have already announced plans to close before Christmas due to the lack of fresh films and moribund consumer interest in attending theaters. Patty Jenkins said this: I don't think anybody can be confident of anything right now. We just don't know what the course of COVID is going to be like. She was quick to add that she was very hopeful, though, that the film can still open on December 25th. It feels totally possible to me. It's unbelievably surreal, she said. The biggest surreality is about it is supposed to be one adventure, right? You sign on to the movie, you write the movie, you direct the movie, you make the movie comes out, and you move on. Instead, like, I spent 3 years doing one thing 7 days a week, and then I just popped out of it to just nothing. No evidence of that work. The filmmaker quickly stopped herself because she was getting really heated, really emotional. I mean, that's not true. I still work on, Dorito bags and stuff like that all the time. But her film's been complete for months, and yet until mid-September, virtually no one had seen it. For the longest time, the only people who'd seen the movie were the people who'd work on the movie, she said. We just showed our own agents. That was thrilling to finally get to talk to people who didn't know what the movie was, but it's super weird to go from making a movie with such detail and being so excited for the experience of people getting to share in that with you, and this just going on to cleaning your house and cooking. So it's really frustrating to hear that, to hear them talk about that, to hear Pedro Pascal talk. It's all over above their pay grade. Absolutely, it's depending what the studio wants to do. I mean, I think they even have to ask her what she wants to do, and she still wants to put it out in theaters. Of course, it was made for a theatrical experience. I totally understand that, but there is something to said that she does seem frustrated. She does seem very anxious to show the world what she's created for so many months and held on to for almost a whole entire year. I think at one point, sooner or later, I think someone's going to give, and Wonder Woman 1984 could come out on digital, PVOD, or even just come out on Christmas, partially in any case. But whether that happens or goes to streaming, it's still going to be tragic because that's not how it was intended. That's not how she wanted us to see it. And it's not to the biggest benefit for the studio at this point. But because it's going to December and they're trying to make the most money at the year end, it may just come out half in theaters and half digitally. I don't know. We'll find out when it hits, when it get closer actually to December, what they decide to do with Wonder Woman 1984. Now for some real exciting news now. It's good positive stuff from here on out. But looks like there's a new DC movie in the works now. And this was just breaking today from The Hollywood Reporter. Michael B. Jordan is producing Static Shock. That's right, DC Static Shock. That's amazing. That's incredible. We've actually heard that they were going to make, or actually they hinted that they were going to make a Static Shock movie at DC Fandom, but this is actually final confirmation. I almost wish they had everything squared away so that they could reveal it at DC Fandom in a big surprise. Michael B. Jordan gets on camera and says, I'm going to be producing Static Shock. Probably, maybe even you could play Static Shock too. I'm just saying. You might as well be a hero over on the DC side, right? So this is coming from The Hollywood Reporter. Michael B. Jordan, Outlier Society to produce DC movie Static Shock. This is an exclusive from The Hollywood Reporter. Michael B. Jordan is boarding Warner Brothers and DC Static Shock as a producer. Jordan will join Reginald Hudlin on the feature project that was first revealed during August DC's DC Fandom event. He will produce via Outlier Society, his Warner-based banner. The movie jolts up the project up a few kilowatts, giving the cult hero some firepower as it goes into active development. Jordan's had to say this. I'm proud to be a part of building a new universe centered around Black superheroes. Our community deserves that. Outlier Society is committed to bringing to life diverse comic book content across all platforms, and we are excited to partner with Reggie and Warner Brothers on his initial step. Outlier will be in the creative center of the Static feature, and for Jordan, a comic book fan, this is an opportunity for not only for some world building, but to be directly involved in franchise building. Should the first movie spark a hit, a multi-platform franchise could be born. The project centers on Static, who first appeared in 1993's #1 via Milestone Comics, a now defunct company founded by Black writers and artists to help make comics a more inclusive space and which had distribution through DC. A decade later, the hero was revived for a Static Shock animated series. That's where I actually know of Static Shock. I haven't read any of the Static Shock comics. I learned about Static Shock. I didn't even know that it was going to be a DC thing when I saw this cartoon in the 2000s. For the Static Shock animated series, centering on Virgil Hawkins, a teenager who transforms into a superhero who gains electromagnetic powers after being exposed to strange gas. The series was noteworthy for being the rare animated show to be headlined by a Black character. The hero made his way to the mainstream DC Comics universe in 2008. So DC is relaunching Milestone with Hudlin, now a partner in the label, at the center of it. He's writing an all-new Static Shock digital comic series beginning in February 2021, as well as an additional Static Shock graphic novel by Hudlin with art by Kyle Baker. A series reviving Icon and Rocket by Hudlin and Milestone founder Denise Cohen are also in the works. Michael B. Jordan confirmed it today with a tweet out showing the Static Shock comic. I have never seen the Static Shock comic. I've always known Static Shock to look like this. This was the animated series, like I said, that I've watched when I was younger. I would say younger, and this is the only time I've actually known and of who Static Shock is. And it was a great show. I mean, there was not many animated series back then, especially superhero series, and so I would pretty much keep watching this and other shows as well. It was really entertaining and it was quite fun. And I don't even remember, like, I wasn't in the know why things were canceled. It just all of a sudden wasn't on TV anymore, and you're like, okay, well, I guess the next show. So, but it's great to see that Static Shock has a comeback in the comics. Didn't know that, but having its own feature-length film, that is pretty awesome and a big win for DC. They've been trying to get Michael B. Jordan for a long time. I was even thinking he was going to come back as Superman. I would have been really stoked to see Michael B. Jordan's version of Superman, which is Calvin Ellis, that Earth 23 Superman. I thought that was a great and fantastic idea. I would totally have wanted to see that. And maybe, he's producing Static Shock, but he didn't say he's going to be Static Shock, so he may have maybe a younger actor to play Static Shock, just like how it was in the animated series. And then maybe, hey, crossing fingers, we could get Calvin Ellis Superman. I think that would be pretty nuts. That would be really awesome. Speaking of Superman, there is some footage and pictures caught today on the set of The Batman that could get us really, truly excited for what this universe may just explore. What am I talking about? Superman exists in the Batman universe? What are you? I mean, what? So this is a little video that someone took where it says, footage I got of the extra dressed as Superman at the Halloween party walking to set The Batman. Now, there was some debate going around that was some rando guy who just walked into on set with the Superman costume, but then that was kind of debunked because there was a Halloween party there. Grace Randolph also covered it. I told you, I've heard earlier they were filming a Halloween scene this evening on The Batman. Was someone dressed as Superman right there? It's not some random. It is an actual Halloween scene for The Batman. Now you're like, okay, so what? It's just a Halloween scene, some dude dressed as a superhero. Big deal. Now you don't understand. The way I'm looking at it is that there is a person within the narrative of the story, or at least in that world of the Batman, which is separate from the DCEU. This is a new world. This Matt Reeves just created a new world. It's the Batman, Matt Reeves the Batman, Robert Pattinson's the Batman, Jeffrey Wright is Commissioner Gordon. It's his own thing, right? So in this world, which is, to me, almost like, I thought it was just going to be like a Christian Bale, Nolan trilogy world, and that's fine. There was nothing more to that. But in a time now where Jim Lee says the multiverse exists, there's so many different universes, and I can't help but think, why would someone in a world that is only right now occupied by the Batman, would there be a dude dressed in a Superman outfit, right? And yes, you could go say, well, they called out for just a bunch of superhero costumes. It's for Halloween. Just come with the costume, and someone came with a Superman outfit, right? But I think thinking about Matt Reeves, it's a little bit more detailed than that. And he really stands out. He really stands out among the crowd. I mean, look at that. Red, blue, everybody else is kind of black, green, brown. To me, this says that in this world, there is a Superman. There is a Superman that's actually occupying this world. Now, I get it. When the movie comes out, there might be someone saying, oh, yeah, what's he going to do? Save a cat out of a tree like that dude in Metropolis? You know, they'll say things like that. Or just like in, I believe it was like Batman and Robin, where Batman said, that's why Superman doesn't have a sidekick. So that does happen, yes. But they weren't talking about multiverses back then. They weren't talking about expanding back then. They didn't have a Superman and Batman show up. We're at a point in time where there was a Batman versus Superman movie with a Wonder Woman. Now they got the Justice League movie. Now they got multiverse. Now they got Flash and multiple Flashes. Movie Flash coming with the Crisis, and seeing TV Flash and things like that. It's more and likely to me that there's a possibility that if the Matt Reeves, the Batman universe does well and people really respond to it, there could be ways to explore and expand that universe to include Superman in it. Right? It's like they're making their own separate, well, they are, their own universe on the side. And I know there were rumors, like last year, rumors that J.J. Abrams was going to do a Superman, and it was going to connect to Matt Reeves, the Batman, and it was going to be its own separate timeline universe, and DCEU was going to go on its own universe this way. But now with the multiverse idea, and it was crazy back then. Don't get me wrong, it was crazy and nuts. But imagine if they're actually doing that. I mean, I even remember at one point there was an article from Forbes where they were talking about Matt Reeves, the Batman, and they were going to probably even have a Batgirl explored in that, and have her meet up with Supergirl in that world. It's a possibility. And if this is some type of indication that Superman exists within Matt Reeves, the Batman, there is a big chance that if this does well, we're going to get more Superman in another universe. Imagine a year we're going to live in where we get to see Henry Cavill's Superman in one universe. We get to see Superman and Lois on the CW universe. And then we're going to get to see, Henry Cavill Superman on the SNYDER'S down in HBO Max, and a new Superman to fight crime, to save the world alongside Robert Pattinson's Batman in their own world's finest movie. Imagine that. Come on. Doesn't that just make you just drool? Make you just sweat with anticipation. This is amazing stuff. And I know you're like, crazy. Chris, you got to calm down. But I can't help when I see the symbol of hope on a set of the Batman, and I just can't help to freak out and think of the possibilities and how this universe could explore its own Justice League one day. Amazing. It's just a win-win for all of us DC fans. Let's get to it. I can't wait. But I know there is going to be a Superman in another universe, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is headed to have additional photography as soon as even this Sunday, possibly. But next week, we are going to have additional photography for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Hopefully, Zack Snyder shares something on Vero. But that fan by the name of Yaniv actually found a relatively new concept art from Ed Natividad, who has done concept art for Justice League. This is what he found on Ed Natividad's site. Now, you may have seen this before, and I say, yeah, we've kind of seen something like that before. But if you look closely over here, and the link is in the description below if you want to check it out yourself, it says Ed Natividad, May 29th of 2020, Batcave. 2020? That is very, very intriguing, because when you go to other concept like this same Batcave concept, relatively, there are major differences here. Batman looks the same. There's more cloud and more fog around him, and the building is shifted back. This is from May 29th of 2013. Why the differences? This is 4A, 3A. Why? Why did he decide to release another concept art this year, 9 days after Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced on the Man of Steel watch party? He had a new concept drawing of a Batcave. I don't know. Could this be that he's drawing concept for a new set or CG they're going to work with for the additional photography for Zack Snyder's Justice League? Is this one of the new things that Zack Snyder thought up of and he's going to shoot here? What does this mean? I mean, I kind of jokingly said on Twitter, maybe this is the part where Darkseid boom tubes in the Batcave and murders Lois. And that's what he's going to shoot. In fact, even Garza implied that he believes that Zack Snyder is actually going to shoot Darkseid murdering Lois as a cliffhanger for Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 1. That's his guess in any way, but I'm really curious why Ed Natividad threw out a concept art on May 29th of 2020, exactly 7 years later from his original Batcave drawing to now. Is this for additional photography? You tell me, and I can't wait to find out. Hopefully we get to find out next week as Zack Snyder starts additional photography for HBO Max's Zack Snyder's Justice League. All right, that's all I had today. I'm just still kind of just foaming at the mouth, thinking the possibility of a Robert Pattinson with another Superman in his own world. That'd be pretty awesome. And also that Zack Snyder may just be doing additional photography of Darkseid boom tubing into the Batcave. What? What does that mean? That means sequel, baby. I can't wait if that's going to be a big possible to happen. I believe it will in my heart. I believe we will get to see it. So cross your fingers, cross your toes, and hope for the best. But until then, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you absolutely love this daily dose of DC content from movies, shows, and video games, please click the like button, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time.